Flying squirrels can't actually fly. This is just one of many misconceptions that we have about animals. You may be thinking, if they can't fly, then what's in a name? Well, they are called flying squirrels, so they must fly, right? Well, no, they can glide, but that's not the same thing as flying. And wings, by definition, are appendages used for flying. So how can something with wings not be able to fly? Are flying squirrels actually just really good gliders? How do they get around? And why do they have wings if they don't use them to fly? We'll answer these questions and more today. Just stay tuned. Hey there, welcome to my channel. Sure do love talking about animals. Today we're going to be talking about flying squirrels. Now, in a previous episode, we talked about the glider, which is a flying squirrel from Australia. Today we will be focusing on true flying squirrels, which belong to the family of Squirrels, the same family that bushy-tailed squirrels belong to. There are 43 species of flying squirrel in this family, and all of them can glide. However, only 3 of these species can actually fly. So how do they fly? Well, unlike the Australian flying squirrel, these flying squirrels have flaps of skin between their limbs that are connected to their limbs by muscle and elastic tissue. These flaps of skin allow them to steer while they glide from tree to tree. The shape of these wings also helps them to keep stable in the air while gliding. While they're gliding, they basically look like a little parachute. It is important to note that when they are gliding, they are not flapping their wings. They are simply using their limbs to maneuver through the air. They cannot increase or decrease the speed of their descent by flapping their wings. They can only control the direction of their descent. But wait, you may be asking, if they can glide, why do they have wings? Well, this is because their ancestors had wings, and these ancestors were not squirrels. See, these flying squirrels are actually more closely related to marmots than they are to other types of squirrels. Marmots are basically large ground squirrels. Their common ancestor was basically a marmot that adapted wings over time. The reason for the development of wings in this ancestor is unknown, but scientists hypothesize that they may have developed them in order to escape predators. Hibernation is another adaptation that these ancestors developed, and it may have played a role in the evolution of wings. See, most animals that hibernate are bears, bats, and some birds. But there are also some squirrels that hibernate too. Most of those are flying squirrels. Now, while most flying squirrels do hibernate, they won't sleep through the winter as some people think. Instead, they enter a state of torpor. Torpor is basically a lighter form of hibernation, or a really deep sleep. During torpor, their body temperature drops, their breathing slows down, and their metabolism slows way down. They basically use very little energy while they're in this state. Sometimes they will enter this state for several days at a time, but they will rouse from this state in order to get food or water or to mate. Now, even though most flying squirrels hibernate, or at least go into a state of torpor, there are some that don't. For example, the southern flying squirrel doesn't hibernate at all, and the northern flying squirrel only enters a state of torpor if food is scarce. When food is abundant, they will stay active throughout the night looking for food. Even though they can glide, they don't really use this ability unless they have to. They are perfectly capable of climbing trees without gliding. However, sometimes they will jump from tree to tree while their arms are extended, and this allows them to glide from one tree to another. While they are gliding, they can reach speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. That's really fast. And they can also glide up to 100 feet from tree to tree. If they need to travel any farther than this, they will simply find another tree to climb and then repeat the process. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode. I hope you learned something new. If you did, please click the like button below. If you haven't already, please subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.